Hello, this is Sheffield Board Gamers Podcast. This is episode 65. I'm joined today by Tom Cauldron. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, and we've got Paula on as well, special guest Paula. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for coming
nice
on.
to talk to you.
Thanks for joining me.
I nearly said
thank you
see
for
you,
but yeah, thanks both for coming on. It's a pleasure to speak to you both. We're going to talk about some of the games that we've been playing recently. We're going to talk about some of our favourite games, not just our favourite games, but how it comes to be your favourites. Before that, though, I haven't really played many games this month because I've been away on holiday. Saw a few people playing card games while I was away, so it was interesting to see people. I think it was more of a British kind of hotel that we stayed in. There were a lot of British people there.
So people playing British card games, things you'd know already? Yeah.
Generally, it was mostly sort of card games. I did take the Pandemic with me, the little one, the what's the small one, the hot zone. I took that with me because it's small enough to put in a suitcase. We also played. I bought a pack of cards while I was there as well because they'd got some Majorca ones, so I bought some while there. That was like €2 or something. They're really cheap.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
We played Rummy. We played German Whist, also known as Honeymoon Whist, which is like a trick-taking game for two players. That was quite good.
I think I'd like that because one of the things I was going to talk about is the fact that I really like card games, especially trick-taking type games. So.
Yeah. It was quite interesting. Yeah, I think it's like a bit of a classic game. It's not one that I've played before, but we looked up the rules online. You get dealt a hand of cards, so you have like 10 cards or 12 cards, I think, something like that. And then you turn over the top card of the deck, and you're basically playing tricks to try and win the top card of the deck. And the loser gets the next card of the deck, which is a face-down card. So it's quite interesting in that some cards you want to win, because these cards that you're collecting, you play another trick-taking hand later on with these cards that you've won, and then whoever wins the most points out of that set will win the game. So you're kind of trying to collect the high cards to win the tricks in the next set of round of play.
Oh, that sounds very interesting.
And if you see a low card, you're trying to lose. You're not trying to win the trick. You're trying to sort of pass it off to your opponent because they'll get that, and you might get something better. So, yeah, it was quite good. It was quite a good fun. Yeah, it's fairly quick. It's like takes 10 minutes to play. You'll play like 2 rounds, but I guess you could kind of add your score together at the end. After you've played a few rounds. So that was quite cool. I did find though that we were kind of looking up the rules online to try and find out how to play these sort of traditional card games, and the rules online are terrible.
It's often the way, actually, because I mean, again, traditional card games also have many different variants. So you might look up those rules, and then exactly the same name game will have totally different rules somewhere else.
Yeah, true. We were looking on the official bicycle website.
I think that'd be
the card manufacturer.
Yeah,
that'd be definitive, wouldn't you?
It kind of gives you a paragraph on how to play Rummy, and that's it. So there's no.
Dear.
Oh,
we had
dear.
we kind of had to guess, and we weren't quite sure we were playing it right. So I think I guess it might be a little bit like Monopoly or chess. They just assume that most people know how to play, perhaps.
Oh dear.
So they only put like a short description on there, but trying to learn it from that was a bit difficult. So we weren't entirely sure we were playing it right, but it was okay. I mean, we had fun anyway.
What is right? There's anything. I mean, traditional card games have sort of evolved rather than been designed. So however people play them is the way to play them. So
and they always have house rules as well. I mean, when I was a kid, we had the the usual Waddington's games and things, but we played cards an awful lot. And there were some. I never learnt to play bridge, and I knew 2 versions of Whist. But then when I was in the 6th form in the common room, we used to play card games, and the only one of them that I knew was Solo, which is a Whist variant, and Pontoon. But somebody trying to teach you another card game, I always hate that when it's like, you should play that one, and it gets round to the next bit, and you got to play. No, you don't want to play that. Well, last time you said that was good. Yeah, but not this time.
There's all the card games that have had sort of usually the ones that have involved betting in some way, have got some weird, tricky rules like, oh, this is like this unless it's a red jack, in which case it's like this, and then if you play a 5, then it's something else happens. And they must have been sort of little rules put in to trick newbies out of some money. I think that's the only reason for putting those little extra rules in. But a lot of traditional card games,
modern games that are based on variants of old card. I mean, The Crew in both its variants is very much a sort of trick-taking game.
Yeah, so many takes on the trick-taking genre have come out recently. Last few
years. And we've played The Crew with a dummy hand as well, which works quite nicely. It's an array of hidden cards, and you can play it as a 2-player. So, that's one of the things, but, that's based on traditional card play. And if you know ordinary card games, sort of traditional card games, there's a lot of the bits of rules on some of the modern games that you can just ignore because you already know. So
I did. We did find that playing this trick taking game, it's because I've played trick taking before that I kind of understood it and kind of could guess what to do. But if I hadn't done that, I'd have been struggling.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I did is when before we set off, I went around the charity shops because I was looking for a book to read while I was there. So I was having a quick look through the books, and I found one. On the high street called "Once Upon a Time in the North" by Philip Pullman. This guy does his Dark Materials and Golden Compass and all that kind of stuff. So I found this book, but so it looks quite good. It looks not read any of his stuff before, but looked like kind of stuff that I usually like. But what intrigued me about it is when you look at the back, it says comes complete with a thrilling board game, Peril of the Pole, complete with spinner, game board, and pieces, all beautifully illustrated and rendered by master engraver John Lawrence. Now, I know Jonathan Lawrence, but I don't think it's him. I think it's a different one. And it's only a small book. It's a novella, really. It's only quite short, but it comes with an entire board game. So I thought, I'll buy that for like 50 pence or whatever it is and take it with me. So read the book, and it was quite good. But in the back, I was half expecting it to be sort of not there or missing or, coloured in with crayons or something like that. Some kids have had it. But there's like a fold-out map in the back, like a flap in the back with a kind of paper map in it, and it's kind of like an old-fashioned kind of board game. I don't know if you've seen these like old Victorian games where you kind of have like numbers in a track, and you basically just roll your dice and see how you go along. It's kind of like that,
so based on the game of Goose that was popular for 300 years for some reason.
That's it. Nowadays
like can understand.
Yeah, that's the one. But it kind of fits in with the game world. So it's a map of the actual game world. The novel that it's in, set in is set in that kind of world. So in the book, there's this balloonist who kind of comes to this little town, and he's won this balloon in a poker game, and he wants to hire himself out to sort of carry cargo and people around and earn a living and stuff. And it's about this balloon race to get to the pole. So it's kind of got like a spiral track with all these numbers on your roll dice to move around. And on some spaces it says, you've been caught up in winds, you have to miss your next turn, and moves about 5 spaces ahead and stuff like that. So it's all kind of basic stuff.
Yeah.
But the illustration on it is really nice. It's in full colour, so it's got like a big colour map, and it's done by this engraver. So it looks like it's kind of looks traditional and old fashioned, even though it's it's fairly modern. But it looks really nice. And I didn't actually play that though. I didn't play that game. I just had a look at the map and sort of had a look at some of the stuff that's in there. But I was dead surprised about that. About it was actually there and all intact and everything. And this book that I've got, it's an ex-library book. It says on the front of it, Dumfries and Galloway Libraries. And it was booked out in August of 2015. So, in the front of the library books, you get like a stamp, and you stamp the time and date on it. It's got one stamp in it, and it's all the way from Dumfries and Galloway. So the actual book itself has a story there somewhere. It's somehow managed to make its way down here. It's only ever been booked out once.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Did Dumfries and Galloway want it back?
Maybe. I don't know.
Not after all this time. 10 years, I think they've probably given it up by now.
They've been longer. I mean, one got a library book back like 70 years after it was taken out at some point.
Yeah,
So
but
how it's actually
I'm
got here
assuming
or
they
where it's
wouldn't
come from, I don't know. But
I'm assuming that after sort of 70 years, they actually didn't really want it back other than as a novelty, but
yeah. So that's my holiday report basically. What have you been up to? Have you been up to anything recently?
We'll segue off from vintage style board games. We've been to an exhibition, which had a selection of board games as one small part of it. But it's a very nice exhibition. I think it's still on. Is it?
It is still on. I can't remember the end date.
It's a Barnsley Civic exhibition about hobbies, basically.
It's basically an artwork by an artist called Hetem Patel.
And what they've done is they've got lots of people involved who've sort of donated some part of the thing that they're obsessed with, whether it's collecting football jerseys or doing yarn projects or redoing old cars or flying drones around.
Yeah, it has some really beautiful personal exhibits from people.
It's a lovely exhibit. You walk around and there's a car transformed into some sort of robot giant transformer thing, and an escalator full of pom-poms and things.
Which was absolutely beautiful and delightful. And
it is generally delightful and playful. And one room of it is a collection of games donated by Anne Jones of Cards or Die.
Loaned by, not
donated. You're definitely getting them back. And there's some old ones like a 80s copy of the Mastermind board game or something. The things that everyone recognises. I had that and things. And some genuine classics, like there's the original box of Cosmic Encounter or the Dune game and things.
They're from like the 70s, aren't they?
Yeah,
old ones.
She's donated a sort of a real cross section of the hobby there. Sort of alongside this, they were having a tabletop games day.
It was called Tabletop Barnsley, in fact.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did see that. I wanted to go to that, but unfortunately, I was aware that was when I was away, so I missed out. But it looked quite good.
Yeah, sort of on spur of the moment on the day. I mean, we've been kind of going, this thing, we might go to it, might not. And on the day, I thought, it's a nice day, let's go out. And it was really nice. Yeah.
The Civic's really near the interchange as well, so it's easy to get
to. Barnsley Town Centre, they've done quite a lot of refurbishment over the past couple of years and really tarted it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a nice new bridge that goes over the railway.
Yeah.
And then as you come out, there's like a square, the new square that's been built. They put sort of events on there. They have like stuff in the summer, like food festivals and stuff like that. It's really nice. Yeah,
it's the Glassworks development, isn't it, on this site of the old Glassworks?
You have like a market in there and stuff. Yeah.
Apparently, the local board games club, who had representatives at this board games day, have got their own little building with dedicated tables and all their storage space. And
all right. Yeah.
You can. Some of the members just book it out to do a day of things there. It's always available for the members, as well as having.
Yeah, so if anybody's in the Barnsley area, it probably might be worth subscribing. It's not cheap, but you can go any time. And
if the Sheffield Board Games Club wants to buy a building somewhere, we might have to put the a bit from what is it, £2 a year or something. So I have to talk that slightly. But
there's a few abandoned buildings in Sheffield, isn't there? We could take one over possibly. We'll do it up a little bit. Yeah. I did see on the news somewhere. I can't remember where it was now, but on the local news there was an article about. It was actually on the TV about somebody who was taking over High Street, like a gaming club. It was more like wargaming, like Warhammer and stuff like that. But this group had basically rented out a shop on the High Street because obviously High Streets are struggling a little bit, and they're closing down a lot of the traditional shops that are there. But this club had kind of taken it over and revived it, and they were doing regular events and stuff like that. And people were saying they were kind of building a community there and, meeting up there. And because it was in the centre of the town, it was all got good transport links and everything like that. So
that I didn't have anything else.
It seems to be becoming more common.
I don't think anyone's done anything with the old John Lewis building yet. I mean, we could put an offer in.
Yeah. That's a big space to fill, though, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
just think how many tables you could get in there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But anyway, we played a couple of things while we were there. We played Heat, which I'd never played before. Tom's played half a game twice, I think. And that was interesting. It was... a lot like Flamme Rouge with some extra quirks, basically, and it was interesting.
Yeah. Is that the car racing one? You kind of race around the track.
Yeah, Heat is the car racing.
And every time you do something like go around a corner too fast, you get cards into your deck and get shuffled around with extra things bugging it up.
Yeah.
So it's sort of not really a deck building game, more sort of deck protecting from badness. Game.
It's a deck bloating game.
Deck bloating. That's a good term for it. Yes. I don't know if there is an official term, but it's quite cute.
And we played another little game which I want when I see it somewhere. I know what the box looks like. I keep persistently forgetting the name. Tom, what was it called?
Kariba. It's like Kariba, but not.
Okay. Yeah,
that's the way I'm remembering it.
Yeah, I keep thinking Karuba. No, it's not that. Kariba. It's a little card game, basically.
It's a little simple card game with hardly any rules, but somehow it works. Yeah. It's one of these things that you think that must exist already, but somehow... Obviously, it's Reiner Knizia. Somehow we managed to discover these sort of neat little ways of doing things that just work really well.
I really loved it. So, another card game. So, And of course, if we're going to talk about card games, I want to talk about Battle Line. Not only do I love it, I'm really quite good at it. And Tom will only play 3 games before he gets fed up. But
not fed up of you beating me, just,
No, not just fed up of playing the same
I just want a different challenge.
Yeah.
I like variety.
Battle Line. It comes in another variant as well called Shot and Totten, and they're both the same game. And basically, you've got a battle line in front of you, and you're playing cards in runs or sometimes just trying to get the higher ones in the same set.
You're trying to build up 10 different sort of poker hands against another poker hand on the other side. The opponent's got...
Yeah.
Right.
And each one, once it's decided, either... the poker hand's finished, or you know that it can't get any better. That decides which one of you wins that particular marker.
Yeah.
So, and you can win by either winning 3 in a row or 5 in total.
Yeah. And so, if you've got 3 consecutive ones, you win. If you've got 5, you win. And sometimes it can be quite quick. Sometimes it goes on a little bit longer, but it's basically building up poker hands, and it's very neat.
Yeah. It's one I've heard of, and it's one that I've seen people sort of playing online, but I wanted to try it. I've never played it myself, but it looks quite cool.
It's a 2-player only game, and we don't get a lot of those played at the club. So
true.
Yeah. And basically, it is my favourite game. So.
Right. You can play over and over.
Again, yeah.
Did you say that's a Reiner Knizia one as well?
It is, yes.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
But basically my favourite.
One of his classic ones. We've obviously played quite a few Reiner Knizia games, as it's even if you don't seek them out, it's pretty much hard to avoid them. Really, he keeps on doing good ones.
Yeah.
Is he up to 1,000 yet, or is it still in the hundreds?
Probably.
Although some of them are just the same thing with a slightly different name,
Yeah. Well, that one that you mentioned, Battle Line, there's a Shot and Totten. Did you say I think there's a Shot and Totten 2 as well, which is another variation I might have seen.
It'll have some slightly different card powers.
Basically, Shot and Totten and Battle Line are basically the same game. So
right.
It's flavour, that's one sort of ancient civilization and the other's comedy Scotsman. So,
Scots are an ancient civilization as well.
Yes.
Well, I've been playing. I played a game the other day at the club. A game called Raccoon Tycoon. I played this a couple of times, and I played it 5-player at the club. So this is a game by Glenn Drover. It's kind of it's got auctions in it. It's got set collecting. It's got resource management. It's one of those kind of games that's a little bit of everything, but not one thing in particular. What you're trying to do is you're a tycoon in this kind of world that they've built here that's got kind of animals on it. So it's got like really cute kind of cats and dogs and raccoons and stuff in it for some reason. Got nothing to do with the game at all, but it's just themed.
Yeah, it's
like
just become a thing, doesn't it? Just put animals in.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks nice.
Yeah.
So basically, you're trying to be the best tycoon by earning points, and the way that you earn points is that you build buildings, you invest in towns, you auction off railroads, and you manage your resources and manage your money. So there are 6 different resources that you can buy and sell, and the cost of these resources will go up and down. So you've got things like coal and wood, steel, wheat, things like that. The cost of these goes up and down depending on different things. And there's a set of railway cards which are auctioned off. So you have some money and you can bid for these railway cards, and then it goes around the table and each person will bid more or pass if they don't want to buy it. So that's one way of getting points, is collecting sets of these railway cards. There's buildings that you can build. The buildings will give you special powers. And there's town cards where you can buy them for a selection of resources that you're buying and selling. You can discard some of those to pick up one of these towns, and that'll get you some points as well. So basically what you're doing is you're doing one of these actions to either buy and sell goods or build a building or start an auction. And when one of the decks runs out, that's the end of the game, and whoever's got the most points wins. What's quite interesting is that money's not worth anything at the end. So you could spend a while sort of building up a load of cash and get a load of money, but that won't really help you out. You need to sort of invest in the cards or the buildings to try and help you out. And like I say, I've played it a couple of times. I found that the buildings really affect how it plays. So in previous games, sometimes the buildings will run out really quickly because there's somebody gets something that gives them a discount on building, so they just end up building loads of those. In our game that we played, one of the players bought the auction house, which gives you a $5 bonus from the bank every time an auction is held. Nice. So it doesn't even matter whether you participate in that or anything; you just get $5. So these kind of rule-breaking bonuses kind of really upset the balance of the game. But it took us about an hour to play, 5-player. It's quite good fun. Everybody enjoyed it, I think, and had a good time. Doesn't overstay its welcome because the decks of cards are only quite small. The buildings and the towns and the railways that you're sort of buying, they're only quite a small deck. So obviously the guy who had Ben, who had the auction house, was just starting an auction every time on his turn and auctioning a load of stuff. So the railroads ran down really quickly, and then all suddenly it's all over, and you just had to blow your points, and that's it. So yes, Raccoon Tycoon. I think it's good. It's a good kind of medium weightish game. It's not too complicated.
I was wondering whether this was one of these things that has a cute exterior hiding sort of massive complexity like Root. Or
no. It's
a fairly light game.
It's definitely got depth, and it's got strategy. You only do one of 5 things on your turn, which I think helps simplify it. And I've printed off kind of a little player aid as well. It doesn't come with one in the game, but you get a little player aid that tells you what actions you can do on your turn. So you only do one of these 5 things: either start an auction or sell some goods or play a card, whatever it might be. So the actual actions, it's one of those classic Knizia things, isn't it? That the actions that you do are fairly simple.
Yes.
You only do one of these things, but it has knock-on effects and consequences, that affect everything else that's going on. So it is fairly simple, and it's something that anybody can pick up, I think, but it does have the depth of the strategy to try and you need to try and plan out what your sort of end goal is, because it does creep up on you quite quickly at the end of the game. You just start an engine going and you start getting a bit of money. You might be getting $30, $50 each turn, but then suddenly, oh no, the game's coming to an end. We're on the last turn. I haven't got any points yet.
Maybe that's whether you get from playing it a few times is recognising that thing of, we've only got another 2 turns left if they do that.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
As soon as you said railway, I thought, oh, this sounds interesting, because I am a sucker for railway games.
It's
Well, yeah.
it's
Oh, in
nothing to
fact,
do with
we've been,
railways. It's nothing to do
No,
with
but
cute animals. It's a very deceiving looking game. Yeah, it looks like a cutesy kind of fun little twee game, but it is more of a, like I say, it's hard to describe it because you do a little bit of everything. You do there's a bit of auctioning, a bit of set collection, there's a bit of managing your resources and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good. It does have paper money, which is maybe a downside, but it is nice paper money. It's not like the thin kind of Monopoly money. It's got like a plastic coating on it, so it does feel quite nice. Actually, now that I think about it, it does feel like real money. Now we've got the plastic.
yeah.
The real money that you get now. It's like it feels like that.
I wonder if the move towards tokens instead of paper money, and people sort of in the hobby space have kind of got a bad idea about paper money. It's based on sort of memories of like 1980s.
Oh, definitely.
Monopoly games and things.
Yeah. That really cheap kind of paper cut stuff with the square corners that aren't even rounded off and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
But now, but when it's done properly, it's.
So the money's fine, even though it's paper money. Mm-hmm. I guess you could swap it out. You could play with like poker chips or metal coins or something if you wanted. That wouldn't be a problem, but the money's absolutely fine. But yeah, it was good fun, and each time I played it, it's always been well received, and everybody has a good time. Like I said, it's not too long; it's probably an hour-ish, including explanation, so it goes fairly quickly.
That's not bad for 5 players, is it? Really?
Yeah. We played 5 players, so yeah. But yeah, it's a good game. Good game. Worth checking out if you get a chance to play
it. We've been to UK Games Expo recently, so obviously acquired 1 or 2 games there. Not a massive amount. We were very restrained.
Yeah, I was just checking my Instagram to see what we'd played. So,
yes.
All right. Is that how you keep track of it?
So, pretty well. It's how I keep track. Tom keeps track properly, but.
No, it's a good idea that, because you can scroll back and see what you played. Yeah.
I've got an app.
I mean, one of the things we played was Grab Bag Jungle.
This is a game that you can pretty much explain in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a kid's game, really.
I'm timing it.
Gibson's put it out, so it should be around. But it's a kid's game. The reason we got it is because we know the guy that designed it, basically.
Oh, okay.
One of the co-designers.
One of the 2 designers,
You've got spaces to fill on cards, so you might have a card that says toucan, sloth, jaguar. So you've got to find a toucan thing, and then another toucan thing, and then a sloth, and then a jaguar. Easy. The way you're finding these is rummaging around in a bag and trying to identify the shapes. That seems toucan shaped. Oh my god, it's a jaguar.
Yeah,
that's it.
And as you can tell, it will be great to play with kids because it's pictures and no words.
Absolutely.
It's also great to play as adults, but it gets a bit sweary. So,
as all best kids game do. So what are these that's in the bag then? Are they just like tokens, or are they actual?
Wooden, really nice wooden pieces, quite thick.
Right, I got you. Like meeple type things.
They've got really distinct shapes, as they should have. But somehow you can. I don't know how a sloth gets mistaken for a toucan, but somehow managed to do it.
Is it like on a timer? Do you get like?
You've got a little sand timer that is moving along the track, and when you've flipped it a certain number of times, the game's over. And if you make a mistake, that makes that track shorter. So
right,
and it's very quick and a lot of fun.
And who is the designer on that? Do you know?
Rob Harper and someone else.
Right, okay.
Sorry to someone else.
That's awful, isn't it? But yeah, Rob's the person who knows.
Rob M. Harper and Mike Harrison Wood.
Yes, I just found it on my Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Well done, Mike Harrison Wood. Yeah. Sorry, forget your name.
Oh no,
it's published by Gibson's.
It's Gibson's, so it should be eventually.
It should be available widely. Widely, not wildly. Well, wildly.
Yeah.
It did sell out on Gibson's stand at Expo as well. They didn't have a lot of copies, and it sold out. So I apparently got the second to last copy, I think it was.
Oh, nice.
So it will be around, though.
Right. Cool.
But other than that, we didn't get a huge amount of games. We got a sort of prototype copy sort of demo thing of some game, but someone's done. But I don't think we can
It's
really talk
actually
about
very
that.
good.
It is good, but we're not talking about. We're talking about real games that people can actually go out and buy.
You couldn't buy this, so it's no point talking about it on here. I will do a review of it somewhere because I promised the designer I would, but not until we've played it through again. We've played it once.
Right.
So,
I think my biggest purchase at the expo was a puzzle box, which I just spend the next few days having a go at, 20 minutes at a time.
Okay. So is that like one of those wooden kind of things where you slide panels out and blocks and things like
it's
that?
got lots of sequential puzzles, so you've got to do this bit and work out that which releases something, which now means you can do something else, and it gives you a clue to how to arrange those things over there to solve that other bit, and it's eventually you get into the middle and find the secret.
That sounds
and then
cool.
You spend the next 3 days putting it back together, which is
it's really easy to go back together. It's actually I really enjoyed it. It's a sort of you can get really deluxe puzzle boxes that cost £500. This is the cheaper end of the market. It's made of sort of laser cut pieces, but it was I thought it was a quality product made by ID Venture or possibly Idventure. I didn't actually get a pronunciation guide, but it's one of their puzzle boxes.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
Thing is, once I've done it, I've got to wait until I forget how to do it in order to experience it again. So, so that's sort of a one-shot thing.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to the those escape room games sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You kind of play it once and then pass it on, or keep it as a souvenir or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Another thing we bought was a little thing with hex tiles called Tegula, which is a pattern matching game, and
weird little game, but very pretty.
Yeah. And another card game, a game about taking turns bidding on stuff, aiming for majorities, and you can tell by that it's from Stuff by Bears. And,
yes, I spent the convention working on the volunteering on the Stuff by Bears stand. I played a lot of her games and demoed a lot of her games, but that is one that I didn't get to demo because I didn't know how to play it, and I only got a free copy of it and did it after the whole thing, and I thought, that's really good. I should have sold this to people, but I didn't know it.
And it's a game with cards of different values, and you're bidding to get other cards from it. It is very nice and very pretty with illustrations that Bess has done herself.
A really slimmed down auction game, sort of as streamlined as an auction game can get.
Yeah,
to fit into a deck of cards, basically. It's really good.
Right.
But I don't know how available that is.
Right.
So.
She may have got some left on her website, but so we wouldn't say definitely. But if you can see it anywhere, it's well worth picking up.
Right. So what was that called again? Sorry.
It has a very long title. It's called A Game About. Let me find the Instagram post. Oh dear. It's called A Game About Taking Turns Bidding on Stuff, Aiming for Majorities, otherwise known as Majorities, I think, when we were stocking it on the stand. So, yeah, it's very pretty and very cute, and I enjoyed it. Again, it's a card game, so
She's done a whole series of small games that either fit in a bag or a box for 50 cards, and they've all got this sort of same sort of naming convention. Like a game about whimsical creatures and try to identify if someone makes noises. A game about quickly growing creatures that are totally different and watching out for turnips. That sort of.
She also published Tom's Game Categorical, however, which also sold out at Expo.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations, Tom.
All 3 copies of it.
So you'll
there were the last ones left.
Yeah.
You'll be retiring on your commissions then from that, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got my island in the Caribbean. Got the down payment put on it.
Yeah, and Yogi is the other one by Stuff by Bears as well. That's
yes.
That's a good one, isn't it? I've seen that.
She's that's basically what pays her rent.
Yeah.
That one game, and then the rest of them are just
Things
just
she
being
does
creative.
Yeah. Because a lot of them are as much an art project as anything, aren't they? Because she
Yeah, one of
draws
them, a couple of them actually are an art project.
Yeah.
There's the oh god, what's that one called?
The one about copyright that you wrote a card for, and a lot of other people wrote a card for.
A game about sequencing screenshots of an old animation with 50 bits of writing by 50 writers. It's just pictures, clips of the one of the first two Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Right.
There was Plain Crazy and Steamboat Willie, but Plain Crazy is the one that I think.
Yeah.
Well, it came out about the same time. Steamboat Willie is a sort of seen as the originator, but Plain Crazy
well-known one, isn't it? Yeah.
First, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are screenshots of Plain Crazy, and you technically can play a game with it using sort of timeline rules. You know,
put them in order.
Pick this card. When does it go before or after, or in between these? You know.
Yeah.
So there are rules you can play that, but mainly it's each card has got a different little bit of writing, which might be just a sentence or a like mini essay. And each one's by a different person, and they're sort of talking about generally around the theme of copyright, because this is now available to make into a sort of crazy art project game because it's out of copyright. After Disney spent many decades really warping the whole copyright law system in the world just to protect these sort of things, and eventually it managed to fall out of copyright properly. There's little bits of writing by various luminaries of the gaming world, such as me. And a couple,
and a few other people,
and some of people at Besnos. There's a couple of people that have, actual famous game designers. There's Jeff Engelstein and Eric Lang.
Yeah.
So technically, I always say that technically means I am a co-designer with Eric Lang.
Yeah. Something to be proud of. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, that's a totally sidetrack. What were we even talking about? There's a few games we've played. I mean, I would like to mention Molly House.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that we got from backing on crowdfunding. Can't remember if it's Kickstarter or not, but this is. I think it's appeared at the club a couple of times as well. And this is. You know how we were talking about Grab Bag Jungle? Imagine the exact opposite of that.
Right.
Yes.
This is a game that has absolutely not compromised at all for sort of there's rules that fiddly and difficult to internalize, and we were still looking up the rule book during our second game in a row, trying to get things right, and it's so easy to do things wrong.
Yeah.
But every decision in that is made to intensify the actual immersion and the thematic difficult decisions you got to make. It's an interesting. I mean, it's absolutely justifiably fiddly, I think. The topic is what is it? 18th century London and
cross-dressers in 18th century London, basically.
Yeah, I was going to say queer societies. That's a modern term.
Yeah, it is.
But
but it is. It's that covers what it is. Yeah.
The Molly houses is the various different places where people are gathering, and the game is sort of a tug of war between the societies trying to create joy by means of card play, and we're sort of cooperating to put down cards which will together make a really good set. So I might have caused on my turn landed on one of these Molly houses, decided to hold a celebration or an event, and then everyone puts in cards, and you can choose what to put in on when it's your turn to put in something, or you can opt not to put anything in. If together there are some cards out, I might have put down one, you might have put down one, another two over there from another player. that makes a really good set, then the community joy goes up. I score lots of points. Whoever put down some cards score lots of points. Everyone's happy. It might be that the cards we put down end up not fitting together in a set, and I lose out. But whoever put down cards might still want to do that. It's there's lots of sort of interesting pulls and pushes, and and all the way through you're running the risk of the Society for Morals or whatever it is called, basically the bad guys, causing problems for people and possibly shutting down
prosecution and
So these different molly houses, there's 4 of them, will risk having too much evidence against them and being shut down. And if they're all shut down, then the joyless Society for Stopping Everyone Having Fun wins, and anyone who decided to be a traitor to the community and be a witness for them, a spy for them, also gets a chance to win.
Yeah.
So there's difficult decisions.
But they don't feel good about it. And
they don't feel good about it. They score points at the end. They don't score joy.
They don't score joy. They only score points.
Yeah.
And that sort of sums it up. It is a game which has a genuine sense of peril, but it also has enormous queer joy. It's brilliant. It feels like an experience playing it, and it is a lot of fun, and it's a card game.
If you're caught up in one of these raids where the molly houses get shut, you might draw one of these minor or major indictions, and you don't make public what it says on them, but it might say at the end of the game you roll a dice, and if you roll the wrong number you just get hanged and just are out of the game. And that is scary to look at, and obviously all this is based on actual experiences of people.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of the character names on the cards are actual people and like that. So
then you got the decision of if I just work for the bad guys secretly, I will escape all of these dangers that I'm facing. So I ended up doing that in one of our games, and we ended up with a really fascinating story of you as the young and naive but community minded person, just totally being crushed by the totally cynical worldly wise person who just got away with everything and ended up
you feel like the young bloke up from the country who's got done over by somebody,
but Lord whatever over here does everything that he wants, wins a game and gets away scot-free,
walks away. And that's another thing I like in games with a story, and this has a particularly
created
good
a story. It did.
Yeah.
It was really good at that. But it is very fiddly to play. It's got lots of little niggles to the rules, like you do this in this case, but then the same cards in a different thing work slightly differently.
Right.
But it's all got a reason for it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth persevering with and digging into.
Yeah.
It does tell really good stories.
Yeah. Talking of sort of games that we really enjoy, one of the things that we mentioned before was anything that I loved that wasn't a card game. And I suppose it's not a card game. Fields of All. It's a 2-player game. It's big. It's Uwe Rosenberg, whose games I also usually like. And it's just 2 players. It's a game where you have a limited amount of rounds, a limited amount of things that you can do, a bit like Agricola. Only it's a bit tighter than that. And it's a race to make the most out of what you've got before the game ends in about 5 rounds. So that's just another game I love. And if you want a game I hate, King of Tokyo. Because it's a game about knocking things down, not building them up. I will always play it if anybody wants to play it.
Yeah.
I will always not like it.
Yeah.
Other thing we played, and we are playing, is a long-standing now, and we're about halfway through, game of the legacy version of Ticket to Ride. Tom, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah.
It's Ticket to Ride, but it's adding little bits onto it. So yes, I mean it's legacy things work. It's we started off with a little bit of the west coast of America, and every game we're adding on to an entire extra slice of America, and we're needing a bigger table every time. We've got this jigsaw that we're building up of the whole of America.
Yeah. Are you just playing it 2-player?
No, we've got a 4-player game with another couple.
It'll be interesting to see how it compares then, because me and Tracy played it all the way through at 2-player. Yeah, so
no spoilers.
Yeah, yeah, we've got right to the end. Yeah,
we haven't got Florida yet. We've been resisting getting Florida and going for some of the interesting looking bits.
Well, in the last box, there's some dice and some Godzilla monsters, so I don't think we'll be very happy. So sorry about that.
Oh dear.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it compares, because one of my complaints was that a 2-player it was a bit too big towards the end. Some of the stuff drops out as you play, but none of it drops out at 2-player. You kind of just end up with this huge bloated game that you're playing. Whereas with 4 players, maybe you get through the stuff a bit quicker. I don't know, but yeah, you'll have to come back when you finished it, and we'll have a chat about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just about. We did a couple of unlock things, didn't we?
We always do a few of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're always fun.
Yeah,
they're always cool to do. Which ones was it?
We did a Peaky Blinders kind of one.
This was one of the unlock short ones. So you get little boxes.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It never referenced Peaky Blinders at all.
No, it didn't. Copyright.
It's just some totally different ne'er-do-wells in flat caps in an industrial town.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always fun. Yeah, I always enjoy playing the unlock ones. Yeah. I've got a couple of exit ones actually that I haven't started yet, so they're on my shelf waiting to be played. So we're gonna have to get to those at some point.
We've got an exit Catan.
Yes.
That we've got to do it.
Oh, have you played the unlock ones based on the games?
Yes,
Ticket to Ride and Pandemic. Yeah, they were good. Yeah, I enjoyed those.
They were. They worked very nicely, didn't they?
Yeah. Anyway, yes. So we've obviously played a few other games, but we don't need to talk about all of them.
Okay. Okay. Shall we move on then to question of the week? Favorite games.
We have slightly been talking about this a bit.
So we've discussed it a little bit already. Yeah. So we've got a kind of idea of your tastes and what you kind of like. So obviously you kind of get into this hobby and you sort of find games that you really like, and that's what kind of draws you in, I think, isn't it? That's the thing that sort of sets you off on this. But so what I would say, and this is probably directed more at Paula, if you have like your favourite games, do you find that you just have your favourites and they're sort of set in stone, or do you find that when you play a new game, you get a new favourite and then you play that for a bit and then you move on to something else? Does it change, or are you kind of sort of fixed and say this is always has been, always will be my favourite?
No, I'd say that I don't always like the new shiny. Some things, like I say, Battle Line, I can't imagine liking any similar game more than that. And Fields of Arle, I really like. Sometimes you play a new thing, like Orichalcum, I really love that.
Oh, yeah.
And I say new, it's not new now, but it's,
newish, yeah.
Fairly new,
yeah.
And you play something like that, you really like it, something like White Castle. When we get a game like that we like, we will sort of play it several times in a row. But then, you get something else, you play a different one. And what I've found is that we don't buy expansions anymore, really.
Right.
Because either you've played something a lot and you're fed up, or you've played it a lot and you love it as it is, or you've not played it enough to know it well enough to need an expansion. So, years ago, we got Machikoro, and this was when we were still buying expansions. We played it a lot, I really liked it. We bought an expansion, added it in, I still really liked it. We bought another expansion, added it in, and we played it very little after that. And it's sat there, unplayed, for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So, that's a game that I was really fond of that sort of dropped away.
Yeah.
I think also getting Space Base might have contributed to that. Because that does the same thing.
Yes, it pretty
play
much
that
similar mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Space Base.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah.
That's the thing. Sometimes games can be replaced. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think sometimes games are really nice. The getting a new game and the discovery period and working out how things work is a lovely thing. And sometimes games give you a great experience of that, and then after that, there's nothing new to discover, and you don't need to anymore.
Yeah, sometimes you've got a game you like, you see this shiny new game, and it's more interesting than the game you've got. But after a while, you get fed up and you go back to the game you've got.
Yeah.
It's not that it's worse or better. It's just that process of discovering it is what you've done.
As much fun as
playing
it a few times. Yeah.
You've seen everything that it's got to give. That's it. You don't need any more.
Yeah. Bearing in mind that we're a couple, that's a very odd comment for me to make. But please don't reflect on that.
So, do you? You mentioned sort of card games that you like. Is that something that you look out for? Do you particularly like card games, or is that?
I do particularly like card games, but one of them, Jaipur is one of my favourite card games to play. And I'd say another reason for looking out for card games is that they don't take much room up. True. Even, you can take them on holiday with you because they're only little. You can put them in a drawer, or you can do the thing that Tom did at one point and put half a dozen in a bigger box from another game that wasn't filling it, which really makes me itch. I don't like that.
There's so much space in that box, though. It's not efficient.
Yes, I know, but it bothered me. It bothered me so much.
I've got a load of card games that kind of fit. I've got them all in like a plastic tub at the moment. I've got like one of those, those tidy up sort of tubs with a lid on. I've got them all kind of in there. So they're all still in the original boxes and stuff, but I guess I can see. I've seen those bags that are like a quiver, and it's just like a row.
Oh yeah,
and you kind of take them all out of the box and put the instructions, and just have the cards in there. And you can carry like 10 or 20 games in this like little bag. But you kind of lose the box and the artwork and stuff then, don't you? I suppose. Yeah. But I can see what you're saying. Yeah, card games are kind of. They can fit them in your pocket or your bag or something, can't you? And you kind of take them wherever you go.
Another game I love, which we got a second-hand and really tatty copy of, was called Nile. And not the old Waddington's tile-laying game from the 1960s, also called Nile. Not Waddington's. It's made by the people who made Scrabble at the time.
Right.
And it's not a very good game. It's because it peters out towards the end. Not that. Nile, the card game, is really good.
Okay.
This is another one where we got Nile Deluxor, which has an extra thing that it does. And we have not played that anywhere near as often as playing Nile because it doesn't need the extra wrinkle.
Yeah.
So,
It's a simple little card game where you can just sort of go through your turn, and then it's your turn, and it's just, it just flows really easily.
Yeah.
It's not anything, massively complicated going on in your turn. You sort of
nothing world shattering about it. It's a nice, comfortable game.
Yeah.
We used to play it loads in the when we went to local cafe for Sunday lunch.
Yeah, I guess like with card games as well, they're easy to sort of play. You don't need like a huge table and sort of, places to keep your tokens and stuff like that. You can just, like I say, play them while you're waiting to have a drink or have your food delivered or whatever. So do you prefer competitive or cooperative games, or don't you mind? Would you play either? Do you have a preference?
I'll play both, and I do like co-op games. What I don't like is if it's a co-op game that you know very well, and you play it with somebody who has not played it before, because you have to resist playing their turn for them. So,
You're not so much playing as sort of game mastering.
Yeah. and that's
trying to run their experience.
It's a really uncomfortable way of playing it. So I love Pandemic and all the Pandemic variants, apart from the Cthulhu one, which I wasn't so keen on. But
nice model.
Mainly because it wasn't very complicated. But, we love Pandemic. I play it on a tablet as well if I'm...
All the time.
Not all the time.
Really?
If I'm not going to sleep, I will just play Pandemic on that.
Okay.
And you play all the 4 characters, or 5 if you're playing them.
And I'll just lean over and say, how are you doing? And she'll say, terrible.
And or right until you spoke to me or something like that, which is irrelevant. Cause
I'm always there to blame.
I'm losing. If I say that, I was losing anyway. But I love Pandemic. And when we play it together, I really like it when we've played the legacy versions.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. But playing it with somebody who has not played it before is a real strain.
Yeah, it can be a little bit stressful.
Makes me sound an awful gamer. But it's mainly because I don't want to spoil somebody else's experience by playing their hand for them.
Yeah.
And the same with things like Forbidden... What's it? Tom?
Forbidden everything.
Is it Island?
Forbidden Island.
Yes.
The sky,
it was
the jungle.
It was Forbidden, the one with the sand. Forbidden Desert was the one I was thinking of. Yeah. And again, a game I really like, but it's awkward to play with anybody who doesn't know it, because they keep asking you things, and if you tell them, you're playing the game for them. So
similar Pandemic system, but simplified a bit.
Yeah. So I like co-op games, and we often play co-op games.
Right.
But
What do you want to play? Fate of the Fellowship at some point. That's
that's the new one, isn't it?
That's got the Pandemic system, and it's got lots of bells and whistles on it.
Yeah.
It does look quite cool. Yeah. So speaking of new games, there's quite a lot of new games that have come out that are duo or dual games that are versions of games that exist already but have been designed for 2 players. So like Splendor Duel, Seven Wonders, Azul's got one. There's loads now. Have you played any of those? Do you like any of
Quite
those?
A few.
Quite a few. Splendor Duel is a great game. We play Splendor a lot as the standard game, as a 2-player game, and it works.
Just occasionally when you want something sort of fairly meditative.
And we play that as a 2-player, and it's great on its own. But Splendor Duel, I would not have bought it without having played it first, and we played it at Treehouse. And it's a different game. You can see a lot of the similarities, but it's really good. It does things that Splendor doesn't do, and I'd say it's definitely worth having. And
what else have we got? Duels.
We've got Seven Wonders Duel, which is fine.
That was the one that sort of really kicked it all off. That was.
It was, and it's
still
fine.
in the top 100 on BGG.
I think if I'd played that before buying it, I might not have bought it, because as long as you use a dummy hand, you can play Seven Wonders for 2 people as well. And I think, there are a lot of games
Some people really don't like the 2-player version of that. I don't know.
I know they don't, but
I think they've taken it out of the Seven Wonders rules that you can get
the
these
new
days.
printing, it says 3 to 7 players. Yeah, they're taking it out of the new one.
And it's... Now, that's another thing that's one of my pet hates, anything that starts at 3 players. Because usually you've either got sort of 5 or 6 players, or 2 of you. It's not often that you've got 3 players.
Yeah.
I mean, we do occasionally, but...
It's not part of our lifestyle, but you can see, I mean, it could easily happen to people who have that.
Yeah. I mean, there's one friend that we quite often play games with who we play as 3, but we usually play a game that would play from 1 to 5 or something, something that you can play with numerous people.
I guess the 2-player games, kind of lack that flexibility. I guess if you've got Splendor, you can play it between 2 and 4, but if you've got Splendor Duel, it's only 2-player, and that's it.
Yeah, but it is a really good game.
For the experience. We've also got Tokaido Duel, which is pretty good.
That's
quite different to the original. We've got Caverna Cave versus Cave, which is obviously a 2-player
nice.
version of Caverna. It's nothing like Caverna. It's just got the same
Same title,
same
some of the
theme,
artwork.
All right, yeah.
And we played that a long time before we played Caverna, and same with Le Havre. Le Havre.
Le Havre, the inland port.
Yes, 2-player version of Le Havre,
Right.
the big Uwe Rosenberg game, which we've never played. So
Yeah,
I don't know
we've
how
played the
different it
2-player version, but we don't know how it compares because we've never played Le Havre.
is. One thing, the only there are games that I prefer the 2-player version to the big version. I think I prefer Splendor Duel to Splendor, and
Yeah,
there's also
it's really good, isn't it?
and there's also, I mean, it does different things. You've got more things to think about, but there's also Codenames Duet, which is a really nice implementation of the Codenames system.
All right, yeah.
And that's
But
a
it's,
game that you can't play the main game with just 2 either, so it's definitely worth having.
Yeah, and we play that over and over. But it sort of gets rid of the bit where you're just sitting around waiting for the person who's looking at the tile to come up with a clue for you, and they're just going because you're both looking at different sides of the board. You got the same set of words, but you got a board with 2 sides on. So my side of the board specifies these words, and your side of the board specifies those words.
Right.
So you're
And it's co-op as well.
You're both looking all the time, and you've got the same lovely thinking and agony that you've got in Codenames without all
But
the.
it's a co-op game as well,
waiting.
which is also very nice if you're playing it as a 2-player. It's co-op. So,
Yeah. Okay, so any other favourites that you've not mentioned so far? What, any other favourite games that you really like?
I mean,
that you've not already talked about?
we've mentioned the quick, clever card games side of things. But every so often, I just like something meaty, something that has got a heavy game that has got a lot of things going on, and you can't have all of it in your head at one time, and you just got to try and wrestle with it. I do like. Just every so often, I just want to. I mean, Uwe Rosenberg games do that, so we've got quite a few of them. We've mentioned Fields of All. We've also got, Hallertau and Nussfjord and things.
And Feast for Odin.
And Feast for Odin. I mean, they're not the most impenetrable games ever. It's fairly simple. You go here, you get these things. That's fine.
It's not the gameplay that's difficult. It's just the decisions.
The massive decision space. Like you look at Feast for Odin, there's 60 different word placement spots you can go on, which is nice. I just like having the more things that I can think about.
Yeah.
I like Stefan Feld games. I really fancy a game of Aquasphere at some point. But these things are just every so often when I want a puzzle.
Yeah. How about you, Paul? Any that you want to mention?
I like those as well. And we also got a Tiwa, which is another
very
game, where it's all about bat conversation, which is conservation, not conversation, not squeaking.
Bat conversation is very, very boring.
Yeah. No, it's about bat conservation, and
that's one of the elements. I mean,
it's very engaging, and it sort of gets a little sort of.
And it's another worker placement game by Uwe Rosenberg. So.
It is, yes. What's not to like?
Yeah. Cool.
And Patchwork, of course. We played Patchwork a lot.
Oh yeah.
And really like it. I like things with polyominoes, and that's sort of the quintessential 2-player polyomino game.
Yeah.
Basically, almost anything that Uwe Rosenberg's ever made.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking round. Yeah. I mean, and sort of in completely different sort of games to that, I am a sort of sucker for anything that's a bit pretty, and I don't mean the artwork, I mean anything that's elegant. So, anything that has nice, smooth rules and things like that.
Yeah, it's like something streamlined, like that's.
Yeah.
You only got like a few basic actions,
Yeah, and it's what you choose to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I like Takenoko. The first time, not Takenoko, I've done it again, haven't I? Tokaido.
Oh, yeah.
Takenoko, I'm a bit ambiguous about, but I've not played it enough to know what I actually think of it, even though I've got it. But Tokaido, the first time I played it, I won the first game I played and took an instant dislike to it because of that. And then sometime later, I played it again, and it's like, now I really like this.
Yeah.
And I still don't know why I disliked it the first time, other than that I won, because I don't usually win games, especially not if I'm playing Tom. But I don't play to win. I play to enjoy playing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm still trying to win, and even if I'm not managing it. But if I enjoy playing something, that matters more to me than winning.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
the goal is to win, but it's the goal that's important, not the winning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, I get it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again.
Okay, so that's some of your favourites. So we'll wrap it up there if that's okay. So thank you both for coming on. Tom Coldren, thank you for coming on. It's been good talking to you.
A pleasure.
And Paula as well. Thank you for coming on, Paula. It's been good talking to you as well. If you see Paula at the club, and you've got a card game with you, invite her over to play, because I'm sure she'll love it.
Yeah. You're more likely to see me at the Red Deer sessions, honestly.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Tuesday evenings are a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and if you want to give a plug to my Instagram, I'm Polyola on Instagram. It's not all board games.
Well, we'll see you soon at the club anyway. But thanks for coming on. It's been good talking to you. And
Nice
we'll
talking
see
to
everybody
you.
else on the next episode. So thanks for listening. We'll speak soon. But for now, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.